You're listening to the PRO Media Network. The next level in entertainment.
There he goes. Blowing it down! How about a poster? Anthony Davis is on fire!
You're listening to the Pelicans post-game report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
For all things Pelicans, we are the Pelican post-game report on the PRO Media Network. I'm Big Q chiming on in with you. And this is the Pelican post-game report playoff edition. Playoff edition. I know that's a lot of P's. The Pelican post-game report playoff edition. But it's in a good way. It's pretty good, man. It's the Pelicans knock off the Trailblazers 97-95 in an excellent game. Excitement filled and all as the Pelicans take game one from the dreaded Trailblazers. We'll break the game down with stats, facts, interviews, and so on and so forth. But before we get started, you know we always give you a round of applause for joining us today on the Pelican Post-Game Report. Thank you for the donations. Thank you for the support, the sharing, the likes, and everything. Thank you. As we continue on this great journey that it has been with the New Orleans Pelicans franchise this entire year, the ups and downs, ebbs and flows, the Pelicans continuing to show people the mental fortitude, the strength, and all of the positive characteristics of a very good basketball club as they move forward in a nice fashion, claiming the first game of the first round playoff series against the Portland Trailblazers, the dangerous Portland Trailblazers, by the way. And let's get into some of the rundown on podcast 177. That's right, 177 on the podcast, and we'll be recapping this game. And our rundown brought to you by the folks at theposhlifestyle.com. That's www.theposhlife, spelled with a YLYFE style.com. Great site that has organic supplements, organic personal products such as deodorant, shampoos, conditioners, shampoos for pets, all kind of wonderful personal products. Also personal security products to help protect you when you're out and about. If you're a college student, we offer all kind of wonderful protection devices such as stun guns and mace sprays. Also, there are other great products available at theposhlifestyle.com as well, such as water filters to purify and clean the water at home so you can bathe and shower in clean water, and hundreds of dozens of other great products. Check them out at theposhlifestyle.com. Remember, they're not just a website, but a lifestyle. Now, getting into the rundown, the Pels take game one, 97-95, leading the series 1-0. Of course, the next game will be Tuesday afternoon as the Pelicans, Tuesday night, as the Pelicans strive to kind of put the clamps down on this team. And like I said, it was a fantastic game. The Pelicans came out like storm bonners. They were excellent, man. You know, they won every quarter of this contest. They held Portland collectively in the first two quarters to 18 points each quarter. And they just like the fact that they said CJ McCullough and Lillard were not hitting. That was only partially true. The Pelicans, Jrue Holiday and Rajon Rondo and the rest of those guys locked down on those guys and made it very difficult for them for three quarters until they put up their best quarter, which is the last quarter, scoring 32 points. We'll talk about AD getting his first playoff win. Yes, he put up a 35-point, 14-rebound, full block performance. Jrue Holiday's defense, outstanding, and his offense was too. So offensive and defensive game by Jrue Holiday. He broke out of that little even keel shell, man, and exerted some real emotion in this game, and that's what you're going to need in this series, this high-intense series. Jrue Holiday was fantastic in this game. He had a few flubs toward the end of the game, but he redeemed himself in a most honorable fashion. Nikolai Mirotic continues to show up big for the Pelicans. as once again, he had 16 points, 11 rebounds, and 4 blocks. He continues to do it all. Nikolai is just excellent. One of the quarters, he shot three pointers in the quarter, kind of carried the Pelicans in the head as that third score. Excellent game from Nikolai Mirotic. And then we're going to talk about riding with Rondo. Of course, Rajon Rondo didn't score too much. He only had 6 points, but he assisted so well. 17 assists from Rajon. He even threw in 8 rebounds for good measures. We'll talk about that. We'll cover the Pelicans, how they shot pretty good in this game. We have interviews from Gentry, AD, and Jrue Holiday. And then we'll hit some other topic. Jamal Crawford signing with the Big Baller brand. We'll talk about that. And then toward the end of the podcast, we'll preview game 2 with stats and prediction and tell you what our calls would be for that Portland game number 2 on Tuesday night. Without further ado, let's hear what Gentry said about the Pelicans getting their first playoff win under his administration.
They charged back into the game in the fourth quarter and see your guys make the plays in the end to close it out.
Well, if you know that team and you know the players on that team, Dame is not going to just go away quietly. I mean, he never have and never will. So we knew that they would make a charge. I think the thing that bothered me is that they did it because we turned the ball over, and they did it on second shots. And so that's something that's very correctable on our side of the basketball. So we've got to do a better job with that. If you look at it, I haven't taken a look, but, even in the first half, they had 36 points, and 16 of those came on second shots out of turnovers. So that's just an area that we got to obviously improve in. I thought we did. I don't know if you can do a better job on those 2 guards than Jrue and those guys did, I think they ended up 13 for 41, something like that. If you can have those 2 guys do that, then you've done a great job on them. So, like I said, the thing that we have to address is the offensive rebounding, and we've got to take better care of the ball. But I think that offensively we can play better, too. I thought we got a little stagnant and stopped running and started playing a little bit of isolation basketball, which is not what we are.
Hey, Coach, you've raved all season about Jrue Holiday's defense. How special was he down the stretch there for you all?
Well, it's funny because the last clip that we had on the edit for the guys today is we just said, we always put a clip on that. It's a game-winning plays, and actually it was Jrue blocking a shot in the Portland game, and same guy, almost the exact same area, and he came up with another block. I just think, like I said, to me, as far as a two-way player right now, with Kawhi Leonard not dressed out and playing, I don't know if there's a better two-way player in the game. We ask him to try to get 20 points for us every night, and we also ask him to guard the best perimeter player on the other team, regardless of the size or who it is.
Two questions for you, Coach. How important was it for this team's confidence to win the first one? And then what was the key to shutting down that backcourt in the first half?
I think anytime you can go on the road and win a game, especially a playoff game, they always say the series doesn't start until you win on the road. I thought that our mentality has been that way the whole season. We're one of the few teams that has as good a road record as we do at home. So we feel comfortable playing on the road. I just think that if you can win the first game, it kind of takes the total edge off. But I told the guys the one thing we've got to do is that we've got to try to do the same thing in a couple of days here. You can't take anything for granted, and we still got to play with the same intensity that we played with. And like I said, we just got to correct those two areas. I think that we're much better offensive team than we showed when we played with flow, and we didn't play with very much flow today. For some reason, we got into one-on-one and isolation situations and not very much ball movement, and we have to do better in that area.
You joked before the game that a few years ago you had to watch Anthony dropping those 35 and 11 type nights against you. What was it like to be on his side tonight and see the way he played against Portland? I
like him being on my team. I like that a lot better than playing against him. So, we talked that during the last time out. We said there's going to be 2 rebounds that we have to have. And, if we get them, we'll win the game. and if we don't, we're probably going to lose. And he came up with both of those rebounds for us.
Alvin, we've gotten used to Anthony putting up big numbers, but having said that, it's his first playoff win. Do you think that was important to him to be able to get that off his back?
Yeah, no, I think it's very much important to him that that we find a way to win. Not just a game, but he want to win a series, and he said he's going to do everything he can to possibly help this team do that. And I thought tonight he made the 2 plays down the stretch, the rebounds that he came up with that were really, really important. That's it.
That's Coach L. Gentry, man. That's his full interview. Of course, when you get a win like that, you deserve to get your full length interview played. But the thing I want to talk about before I play, we go into Anthony Davis and Jrue Holiday's segment of the interview, was the fact that Coach Gentry's absolutely right. The Pelicans did a phenomenal job tonight. Carangling, kind of getting those guys, kind of putting them in the patch, moving them into a uncomfortable situation. And we could say, and most of their fans will say, well, Dame and CJ was off tonight. That's what contributed to the fact that the team, the Trailblazers, didn't get going. Well, that's only partially true. Jrue Holiday and the Pelicans defense, along with Anthony Davis, did a terrific job of basically staying on those guys and challenging, putting a hand in their face to stop them from getting going early. And they just ran out of time. And the only reason why the Pelicans had this game even closer than what it was, it should have been a bigger win. They should have won this game actually about 5 to 7 points. And the reason why I say that is because there was the segment late in the game when Jrue Holiday committed 3 straight drives when he threw turnovers on each one of those drives. And those drives are when the Trailblazers converted those turnovers into points and got closer to the Pelicans. That's why I say that. Now, I'm not taking nothing away from the win. I think it was a fantastic win. And the mere fact that toward the end, you can look, it was a shot when Jrue Holiday, after he committed one of those turnovers and then got it, that he needed to make a play. You can see the camera zoom in on him, and you can see in his eyes he knew he had to make a play. When he blocked McCartan's layup and sealed the deal, that was just a picture-perfect moment for the Pelicans, how they could really be if they were more defensively sound, if they didn't commit as many turnovers. Because in this game, they turned the ball over 15 times. Let's get that straight. 15 times, while it was 20, and then it allowed 23 points off of 15 turnovers. That's pretty bad, man. That's pretty bad. You can't turn the ball over that much when you're in the playoffs. I will stick to, and I know they're capable of it, because when they played Golden State and when they played, I think it was the Clippers. Or one of the two. One of those two guys, I think Golden State and the Clippers, they stayed in the single digits against both those teams as far as the turnovers were concerned. Now, in this game, they were pretty good. 41 of 86, despite the fact that the Portland Trailblazers had 12 more attempts than they did. The Pelicans were more efficient. 48% from the field. They weren't that good from the three-point line, 8 of 24 for 33%. They went to the line 10 times, converting 7 of 10. They were barely out-rebounded, 58 to 54. But the big stat about that is the 15 offensive rebounds the Pelicans allowed Portland to have. You cannot allow them to have that many second chance opportunities. No way. The Pelicans have to do a better job on the offensive boards of doing that. Anytime you give up that many offensive rebounds, they are fortunate that they didn't lose this game. They gave up 15 offensive rebounds and then 15 turnovers, but their defense is what did it toward the end of the game, which ultimately helped this team secure the win. You look at the assist ratio, 26 to 17. They had 12 to 6 on blocks. You look at the fast break points, in which Portland outscored them 29 to 17, and the points in the paint, the Pelicans lost just by 2 points, 46 to 44. But if you take a look at everything else that the Pelicans were able to do in this game. It was simply fantastic, you know. Then you couple that by the fact that Anthony Davis gets his first playoff win, which he himself said that it was like having a monkey off of his back, and now it moves from just winning his first game to now winning the series. And you heard what Coach Gentry said. He wants a series. He said he announced that before we went into the playoffs that it's not about just making the playoffs. It's about making some noise. We want to win a series or two. Well, I've been destroying the national pundits that said that the Portland Trailblazers was going to beat the Pelicans in 6. They don't watch enough of the Pelicans to know if that's the case. I'm telling you, the Pelicans are underrated. They're underestimated. And they're going to play on that, and they will beat Portland in a 7-game series straight up. That's my call. But anyway, we're going to get to that. You come back on the other side, we'll talk more about the Pelicans.
Get all the latest news and updates from your New Orleans Pelicans at the Pelicans Eye View, the new and official Pelicans Daily Journal, covering everything Pelicans.
Attention, everyone.
Get breakdown on games, free agent signings and potential moves, unbiased opinions and straight up facts with statistical analysis from G Balance. Go to www.thesportsdaily.com/Pelicans-I-View.
I'm a Saints and Pelicans fan, so the only podcast I can get my fix is The Sports Coma with Big Q. The guy's intense, funny, and they always keep it real.
Check out The Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys.
What's up, sports world? This Big Q from the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys. Talking to you about the website, theposhlifestyle.com. That's right, poshlifestyle.com. A great website where you can get great products at great prices. They sell organic herbs, vitamins, supplements, water filters for your home, EMF and cell phone radiation protection, healing magnetics and healing crystals, personal protection devices like cell phones, stun guns, and mace sprays, organic deodorants, shampoos, soaps, toothpaste, and more. They also sell 10A grade Brazilian hair. 10A music is available now. All kind of the latest downloadable mixtapes. So what are you waiting for? Head on over to theposhlifestyle.com. That's the Posh Lifestyle, life spelled with a Y, LYFE style.com. Put in the Sports Coma for the 10% discount on your purchase. It's a win-win. So get your mind and body right with the Posh Lifestyle.
Forget ESPN or Fox. Get straight sports talk from the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys.
You're listening to the Pelicans postgame report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
For all things Pelicans, we are the Pelican postgame report, and we are proud of our Pelicans. Yes, sir, we are. We are very proud of the Pelicans because of the excellent way they're carrying about the business. Of course, losing DeMarcus Cousins, losing beloved team owner Tom Bisson, and of course the DeMarcus Cousins injury was enough to make any team fold up. Not the Pelicans. Despite all those obstacles, they still said, "Man, we're going to win. We're going to use this as motivation to be successful." And some of the greatest Americans, the greatest people, period, in the world that had to overcome insurmountable odds, they climbed and did it off of strength of will and the ability to lock in mentally, despite all of the naysayers who won't stop. They will not stop criticizing. They will not stop underestimating or devaluing you. That's what they do. And then officially, then when you win, then they want to come to your side. Don't be swayed by those numbskulls and these national pundits who said that the Pelicans would not be able to beat the Portland Trailblazers and the Trailblazers win a series in 6 games. I disagree with that, and I tell you why. These pundits do not watch the Pelicans every night. They do not know what this team is made of. They do not understand how this team plays. We do. We watch these teams. We follow this team the entire season, every freaking game. We're there. So we know what this team can do. They do not. They do not follow this team like that. So be mindful of when you hear these idiot pundits speaking about things like, oh, well, they're going to beat them. The Pelicans match up very well with this team. They don't have anybody they can throw at Anthony Davis to stop him. That's number one. They had their best players, Damian-Lillard. We have an all-star offensive and, more importantly, defensive guard that we can place on Damian-Lillard that can slow him down. People thinking that they won't be able to recreate that. Perhaps. But the Pelicans, being that they're a stubborn team that has all of a sudden became intoxicated with winning, this is the strategy to slow this team down. Now, before I get into the statistics and finish speaking on the rest of the topics, let's hear what Anthony Davis and Jrue Holiday had to say at their performances after the game.
So, AD, just to start, I mean, you said several times that you understand that your career is going to be judged not by the numbers but by the wins. So how big is it for you to get your first playoff win tonight?
It was huge. There's a lot of stuff that we got to get better at. I think we played well overall. We did a great job defensively on Dame and CJ. Rebounding the ball a little better, but we got the win. And that's all that matters. And watch some film, make some adjustments, and then get ready for Tuesday.
Jrue, you normally don't show a lot of emotion, but when you came with that block and I saw you walking down the court, what was kind of going through your mind as you showed some emotion there?
It's the playoffs. A lot of excitement, a lot of energy, especially in the building. We obviously know that was a really big stop, and at that moment just felt good to get a stop. Felt good to know that all the hard work that we put in this game, we got the win. So, did a really good job today.
Anthony, your guards did a nice job on their guards, but also they got a lot of help, and you guys blitzed the pick and roll. It seemed like you're keeping it away from Lillard. Can you talk about your plan there?
I'm not gonna talk about it too much in detail, but we just want to make sure that we put as much pressure on Damian and CJ as possible, and make someone else beat us. And the other guys made shots, but them the shot that we're going to live with. But our main focus to make it tough on Dame and CJ.
Hey, Jrue, I think when you were going back to the locker room, you said, let's not come back. How important was it to get this win just for confidence for this team?
Yeah, it was huge. Obviously, that was the plan, to come here and get a win on their home court. And to be able to do that in the first game is really big. Honestly, man, I think we're all just really excited to be here and to be playing. I think we're all appreciative of everything we've been through this season. And just to be able to get this first win under our belt builds a lot of confidence for the next game and here on up.
He just asked about the defensive performance. It looked like Darren Erman was pretty active on the bench. Can you just talk about, I guess, his role and the credit he deserves for this defensive performance?
Yeah, he defensive mastermind, Obviously, it takes a team effort, but with him, he's always active, as you guys can see. He's always saying something. He's always in the computer watching film. So shout out to him. But honestly, man, the job on the guards today, I think it was the bigs. The way that they were up and just made it hard on them. It was fun. It was fun to play.
We've asked you guys several times leading up to this game about playoff Rondo. What was it like just to have him out there and the way he was distributing the offense?
It was huge. He's in a different mindset. He was up all night watching film. Even when they was calling plays out tonight, he was telling us what it was, in our version before they even got a chance to run it. So he's definitely mentally locked in, and with the way he played tonight, 17 assists. Getting guys involved, talking, making sure we're huddling up at the free throws, make sure we know what we're doing out of timeouts. He's just in a different mode, and he's playing well. He played well for us tonight, and so we just need him for the rest of the time we're in the playoffs.
Anthony, I know you've had a lot of big games. You've even had big playoff games before, but this is your first playoff win. And what does that mean to you?
It means a lot. Get that monkey off your back, get your first win. But now that's over with. We want to come in Tuesday and get another one. That's our mindset, make some adjustments, and then come out and try to do the things that we kind of messed up a little bit better. like rebounding the basketball better and even being up more on Dame and CJ. So, just little stuff like that. We want to make adjustments, but it feels good to get that first win.
Jrue here in the back is.
There at the end, and possibly could have gone either way. Was there somebody on the Pelican squad that stepped up and calmed everybody down, kept a level head amongst the group?
Honestly, it's always Doe and Anthony. Every time in the locker, every time we huddle up, Anthony was saying, we're still up 12 on the road, or we're still up 3 on the road. And Doe, every time we huddle up, just brings us together and say, we get it done with defense. And every time we get in those situations, it's definitely reassuring hearing it from your captains to be able to say that and say it with confidence.
Jrue, as much pride as you take in your defense, is making plays like that at the end of the game just as good of a feeling as like making a game-winning shot?
Oh yeah, I was hyped as you can see. Again, man, I take pride in my defense, especially guarding all these guards, all these great guards, and that's why we play the game. It's fun, but it's tough and it's hard. So to be able to get a win on the road, man, is a great feeling.
Jrue, do you feel like, with a performance like this, do you feel like you're sort of underappreciated when it comes to like the elite guards in the West?
I feel like my team appreciates me. That's all that really matters. They tell me all the time, from this guy next to me to Rondo to Ian to Darius, they tell me all the time how much I mean to them and vice versa. So I'm happy to be on this team, and where we at as a team has been really awesome.
I'm kind of paraphrasing here, but Rondo said something leading up to this about how there's a lot of good players in the league that think they can get it done at this level, but once you start doing it, you really know that you can. Do you think this team's starting to believe that a win like this shows that we know we belong and can do this?
Oh, for sure. And we always believe, and I think just winning that game just makes us believe more, honestly, especially on the road. So, but we always been a team that no matter if we're up, down, or whatever, in the game tied up, we always feel like we can win a basketball game. And it starts with, our captains, making sure that, they believe first, and then it makes the team believe. So we've been fine all year with that. But I think this big win on the road, first game in the playoffs, kind of makes us even more confident.
That's Anthony Davis and Jrue Holiday chiming in on what their thoughts after the game. And to be quite honest with you, we talked about Anthony Davis and his fantastic contribution, 35 points, 14 rebounds, 4 blocks on 14 of 26 shooting from the field and 41 minutes of action. Anthony Davis is Anthony Davis, and he's going to continue to chime out big games constantly. But Jrue Holiday is a very solid complementary piece. After the All-Star break, he done pushed his game up to All-Star levels. He contributed very well in this game, not just defensively. We've seen a lot of great plays by Jrue defensively, steals and whatnot, knocking the ball away. But Jrue Holiday had a complete game. He scored 21 points. He had 7 rebounds. And then, of course, he had those two. He had one of those big blocks on McCartan, but he had 2 blocks in the game, 5 rebounds on 10 of 20 shooting in 39 minutes of action. So he had a very solid game. Jrue Holiday has been very solid for the Pelicans, pushing his overall average in the regular season up to 19 points a game. And I would be remiss if he didn't get some type of reward. Maybe, I wouldn't say comeback player of the year, most improved perhaps. I don't know if that's a stretch, but Jrue Holiday's been absolutely awesome, and he's been when DeMarcus went down, he stepped up, and he's been absolutely a terror for opposing teams. He did a absolutely awesome job on Damian-Lillard and CJ McCullough in this game. Not only just him, but Rajon Rondo too, and not to skip over Rajon, but we're going to talk about Nikolai Mirotic, as Nico had a fantastic game as well. He gets lost with the big guys of Holiday and Anthony Davis, but the glue guy, Nikolai Mirotic, since he's been put into the starting rotation, the Pelicans have been a different team. 16 points from Nikolai. He had 11 rebounds, 4 blocks for himself in this game. He was 6 of 15 from the field, 4 of 10 from downtown in 40 minutes of action. He was very solid defensively and offensively as well. And he's been the perfect complementary piece to go in between Davis and Holiday that helps take a lot of pressure off of those guys. And I mean, Nikolai is just absolutely tremendous. He continues to be tremendous, and he's been a very strong piece for the Pelicans, and he will continue to do so in his run. His shooting is so valuable for the Pelicans, who've struggled outside of having our guard play, but the small forward position. And I know he don't play small forward, but his shooting is just outer-worldly when you think about it. He shoots the ball so well. Rajon Rondo's another guy, to make mention of right here. Even though Rondo didn't score a lot of points, 6 points to be precise, but he was excellent everywhere else. He distributed the ball, and like Jrue Holiday just told you, that he studied the film the night before, and then was like, well, listen, these guys about to run this play, they about to do that, they about to do this. And he was ahead of the game and told them. You could see with segments when Rondo got his team huddled up that they were able to capitalize. They were on top of him defensively. He finished with 16 points, 17 assists, 8 rebounds on the night. Rajon Rondo is simply a basketball genius. And another thing I want to mention about Rondo is the fact that last year when he played for the Chicago Bulls, people forget that the fact that Rondo was leading that Chicago Bull team against the Boston Celtics. And in the first round, they were up 2-0. And then in the third game, they were winning that third game until Rondo got hurt right before the halftime when he hurt his thumb. And once he came out of the game, the Celtics won that game and then ultimately won 4 straight to knock Chicago out of the playoffs. But if Rondo was healthy, they would have beaten Boston last year. No doubt about it. Now we have Rondo on a better team with the Pelicans, and he's the floor general, and he's doing it all. It's the playoffs, and him and Ian Clark, who also contributed with 10 points in 25 minutes. Those guys that won championships, you're going to rely on those veteran guys and their leadership to move you forward, and that is the most important thing why the Pelicans got they were able to get these guys like Ian Clark and Rajon Rondo with all that championship experience. So, I mean, that's the tremendous thing that I really like about Rondo and also about Nikolai Mirotic, as we spoke on. Now, if we look at some of the other statistics dealing with what the Pelicans bench did, not too much to speak of, but kudos to Gentry for going 4 guys deep into his bench rotation, And he also knows that he's going to have a couple of games in between to rest these guys. But, the energy's there, so they're going to play. They're definitely going to play a lot harder, and it's going to be interesting to see what Tuesday night is going to look like, and if the Pelicans can redo that, get back on, that defensive side. But, like Anthony Davis said about the statistical aspect of what was going on, they have to improve, no doubt about it. They have to improve betterly on the rebound aspect. They cannot allow Portland to out-rebound them, especially offensively. They have to shoot the 3-ball better than what they did in the first game. They had 26 assists, which is right on par, almost average for what they usually do. They have to cut those turnovers down. They have to get those current turnovers down to 10 or underneath. They have to play better. They can't give up the offensive rebounds and the turnovers. They lost the fast break edge, which they usually win. That was kind of, strange, but in the points in the paint battle, they have to be able to kind of lock down the paint as well. So hopefully Pelicans are studying film right now. The Pelicans say, well, listen, if we can clean up this stuff right here, if we played a little bit sloppy right here and still beat this team by 2 in their building, if we can clean this up and do this again, we can go back to New Orleans 2-0 on this team. And that's like, I really want to see what this team's killer instinct would be, if they can clean up these mistakes and press on and move forward, because that's the underlying issue. They shot 48% tonight and 33% from the 3-point line. So the Pelicans have to clean up the mistakes. If they can clean up mistakes, I don't see why this team can't press ahead and get a second win. I don't understand why the pundits are so hell-bent on the Portland winning it because of C.J. McCullough and Damian-Lillard. It's just you're undervaluing Holiday, Nikolai Mirotic, and how this team and the rest of how the Pelicans organization, how their team plays. It's not just Anthony Davis and Jrue Holiday. They play as a team. And that is the reason why I'm giving them credit to beat this team. Well, I'm getting a little ahead of myself because the preview ain't till a little later. But be that as it may, let's focus on moving into the next topic, which is Jamal Crawford. Of course, Jamal Crawford has a deal where he bought some the Ball family fortune. Of course, everybody know who the Balls are. You know, you got Lonzo Ball and his dad, the loudmouth Ball. So there is a situation where Crawford is now in a position where he might very well be thinking about working on a deal where he'll be basically a promotion man or buy stock in the company, according to the report, that he's supposed to be buying stock in the company, and he will be wearing some of Lonzo Ball's sneakers. And the curious part about that whole endeavor was the fact that there was an exchange I found very interesting about it on ESPN earlier today, which had Jalen Rose and, of course, commenting on it, and Michelle Beadle, as they commented on Crawford's idea of possibly getting into the shoe game with Lonzo Ball, and this is what she said.
Bless his heart. In the Big Baller brand, he has interest in the brand. I don't really know exactly how else to phrase that. I have interest in the brand. What does this mean? Is this to you a meaningful story?
Well, I mean, it shows the young man has poor taste, number one. But more than that, this is a move, like Jalen said, to get his name, and then fine, then I get it. But this is not a company that I would necessarily want my name associated with. As much as we joke and this and that, it is still, at the end of the day, a company that was rated by the Better Business Bureau a few months ago with an F, because every single complaint was negative. They did not have one correspondence that was positive. They can't send their merchandise out. They take the money and they run. You can't get a hold of anyone to get back. Why would you want your name associated with this brand?
There are so many companies on the face of this earth that get poor ratings.
No.
We still patronize.
That's different.
Also, as long as we're talking about the Big Baller brand, an independent company, it's a win for them.
I don't agree with that.
They're not Nike. They're not Adidas. We're discussing them. That's a win. Jordan Crawford, little brother from Detroit. This is a genius move by him. Guess why? We're talking about him.
But that
otherwise we
would
not be.
But that doesn't further his career.
We're talking about him.
All right, that's some of the interviews you heard with those guys talking about the Ball and the fact that the bad business rating and all this kind of stuff, and that's true. But I like the way Jalen Rose defended the Balls. Now, of course, this is not a thumbs up to people that's doing bad business, but he's right. They do have a lot of bad businesses that we go to and that we give a lot of money to. Case in point, they have some of these ridiculous snotty jeweler people out here that sell these jewels and all these different diamonds and all this jewelry at ridiculous prices. When you go in their establishments, they pretend like you don't exist, and that's a technique that they use to up the sales. Only a certain kind of clientele can be in here. We're not going to pay attention to you. We're not going to ask you if you need any help. It's just bad. They're taught to give you what is interpreted as bad service, but they plan on your insecurity. So if you feel insecure, well, they're not going to pay me. I'm going to show them I'm going to spend a lot of money, earn their respect. Don't fall for that nonsense. Just kindly walk out of their stores and go to a store that shows you respect. Do not support or go to businesses that don't show you any respect when you walk in the door. I don't care what color they are. Bottom line, if they can't treat you with respect when you come in, do not respect them by giving them your money. Bottom line. And the fact that I want to talk about Beadle, what she's saying is absolutely right. I don't like her snotty attitude about how she delivers the message. The little smirk she made before about this, like she anticipating that the man business would fail. I would like to hear her stance on what she thinks about some of these other ridiculous shoe companies. Of course, Lonzo Ball shoes are cost too much in my opinion. Yeah, they're too expensive. They are. But are you saying that about the rest of those expensive? Because his shoes fit in the same line with some of these other shoes that's out here. Did you say anything bad about Gucci if they have tennis shoes that's $400, $500, $600? If their shoes are priced way above what they're supposed to do only because their stamp is on them? Did you say anything about that? Or some of these other shoe companies or manufacturers that use, and if you go into the Asian nations that's using Chinese sweatshops to build their shoes and make a profit, are you making any negative commentary about them? So be very careful, because you're getting a little too comfortable. Be very mindful and careful of the territory you tread, because you could say the wrong things, because it's still a black business, and a lot of black people get real uncomfortable when they have other people other than them critiquing their business structure in that manner. So be very mindful of that. Just telling you. Okay, moving forward and going into our next situation, the next topic rather.
Yo, Pierre, you want to come out?
And we're going to talk about the quick preview about the Pelicans post the next game, game 2, of course, against the Portland Trailblazers. And I said earlier, I basically went into it when I told you, what I thought about what the Pelicans was going to do in this second game. I don't see any difference, to be quite honest with you, about what the Pelicans. I just said it earlier. Clean up the mistakes. Do what you did in the game, like Coach Gentry said, but clean up the mistakes. Don't have 15 turnovers. Don't allow 15 offensive rebounds. You have to be able to win the points in the paint and hit all your free throws. Simple as that. Keep that edge and clean up the mistakes. Have under 10 assists and still play with that edge and out rebound them and killing. Just that regular effort should be good enough to win game 2. Like I said, this team have the killer instinct to put this team away. That's what it comes down to. But anyway, that's the Pelican post-game report on the PRO Media Network. Thank you for listening to us. Go to patreon.com/the PRO Media Network to donate. For myself, I like to say peace and holler at us later.
Forget ESPN or Fox. Get straight sports talk from the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys.
What's up, world? This is DC from the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys. Have you ever been sitting in front of your computer screen, or in traffic, tired, lacking energy, feeling drained? Did you know there are electromagnetic fields or EMF waves all around you that cause this disease? Get it? Dis-ease? Luckily here at Posh Lifestyle, you can get your EMF protection. They have pendants, the shell-dyed bricks, cubes, and pyramids. Check out the poshlifestyle.com. That's life spelled with a Y. POSHLYFESTYLE.com for all your health needs. So get your mind and body right with a Posh Lifestyle.
Clear, clean, great-tasting filtered water. We're all thirsty for it. But in the U.S. alone, an estimated 2.5 million plastic bottles are added to the environment each year in search of the perfect drink of water. There has to be a better solution, and there is. Crystal Quest, a leader in the manufacturing of water filtration technology, has been providing clean, drinkable water for 20 years. With a deep commitment to providing the highest quality products and excellent customer service, Crystal Quest has been recognized by such leaders as Consumers Digest, Dr. Oz, and Colin Ingram's The Water Drinking Book. Providing cost-effective, reliable water filtration systems for residential, commercial, and industrial customers worldwide. Offering our customers the cleanest and most environmental-friendly drinking water at a rating of high purity. With Crystal Quest's water filtration technology, you can rest assured that your water will be crystal clear. Contact our network of authorized distributors and join our thousands of satisfied customers.
Just log into theposhlifestyle.com. Once again, that is theposhlifestyle.com.
You're listening to the Pelicans postgame report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
In today's world, children are bombarded with negativity on television, online, and at school. Our kids need to have a positive outlook on life and the world around them. I want to share with you a valuable resource you can use to bring positivity into your child's life. It's the new book, 101 Powerful Children Affirmations, a guide to positive child self-image, from author and dad, G.J. Barabino. This is a simple guide loaded with wonderful and inspirational inspirational affirmations designed to uplift young people's spirits. This positive and powerful children affirmational is chock full and loaded with wonderful inspirational sayings that will lift your child's self-image to whole new levels through the awesome power of spoken word. 101 Powerful Children Affirmations, a guide to positive child self-image from author and dad G.J. Barabino. Available on Amazon. Order a copy for yourself, your child's teachers, or anyone you know with children. 101 Powerful Children Affirmations, a guide to positive child self-image. Order your copy today.
What is big? Big is taking flight. Big is sending back that weak sauce. Big is ball handling that sets the hardwood on fire. New Orleans Pelicans, do it big.